In the previous lessons, we created the initial parts of the memory game. Today, we will create the third part of this game. I have now completed creating the initial parts of the memory game from the previous lesson. If anyone hasn't watched our lesson 64 and 65 yet, check out the creations of 64 and 65 using the Thunkable.com website right now. From here on, we will add parts to that creation and further improve it. As you can see in the previous lessons, we designed the screen as needed and created the code for it. First, we created the variables needed for the game. Next, we created the code to make necessary components visible and hide unnecessary components during the game. Additionally, when the play button is clicked to start the game, we created a code to randomly assign images to the image component we added. However, we haven't made these images visible yet. Let's click the live test button to see how the paths we have created so far are displayed. I will click the play button now. The flip buttons are displayed like this. Next, we need to create the code for when we click on these flip buttons. First, let's see what happens when we click on a flip button. First, the relevant image becomes visible and the button hides. Next, we need to check if this is the first time a flip button is clicked or the second time. If it is the first time, we will assign the clicked flip button, image and the image components to three variables: old button, old image name and old image component. Also, since we have clicked the flip button once, we will increase the value of the flip state variable by 1. Before explaining the next steps, let's create the code for this part. I will click the close button and go to the blocks tab. Next, create a function for this. I will drag a to do something code block from the function section like this. Now let's rename this function to match flip. I will remove do something part and type match flip. In addition to the variables we created at the start of the code, we need 4 more variables for this function. We can create these variables within this function itself. I will click the settings icon next to match flip here. Now in this box, the structure of the current function code block is displayed on the right side. On the left side, the paths we add are displayed. I will drag an input name X code block from here to the right side like this. Now look at the to match flip code block. A variable named X has been added in front of the function name. Similarly, since we need 3 more variables, let's drag an input X code block here just like before. Alright, one more time I will drag an input X code block here. Now look, 4 variables named X have been added like this. We can change the name of these variables as needed. First, I will remove the X in the first input name X code block and type current button. Next, I will remove the X in the second code block and type current image component. Again, in the third code block, I will replace the X with current image name. Finally, in the last code block, I will replace the X with flip button number. Alright, let's click the settings icon again to remove this box. Now look at the to match flip code block. The variables we added are displayed in front of the function name like this.